Alright, well this is becoming a bit of a tradition. Once again, we're wrapping up a mini-series with a top 5 list. Hello and welcome to Sci-Fi Night Top 5. So, we're wrapping off the Alien mini-series, and obviously we're listing our favorite Alien-related movies. Since the release of 1979's now classic sci-fi horror series Alien, we've been given 3 direct sequels in form of Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection, 2 Alien vs. Predator spin-offs, and a prequel in the form of Prometheus. Now with another prequel on the way with Alien Covenant, we decided to finish off this celebration of the Alien series by listing our top 5 favorites. If you haven't already, I'd recommend checking out the earlier Alien content that we've released so far, as well as our Sci-Fi Night Light episode on Alien ripoffs to see how much worse this concept can be done. So before we start off the real list, we're going to kick it off with a dishonorable mention, which goes to the worst piece of crap that's ever been released in the Alien universe, Alien vs. Predator 2 Requiem. First of all, Requiem is far too nice a word to be attached to this. Secondly, for as silly as Alien vs. Predator 1 is, at least it feels like an actual movie. AVP 2 is like some kid with ADD just emptied his mind with ideas and some studio executive put it together. This film is shockingly bad. It's like they thought the only thing they needed to make a good movie was to have aliens, predators, and some blood and gore. The characters are completely forgettable. The script is outrageously stupid. Like, for example, the Predator trying to cover up any trace of alien life, while also deciding to randomly skin people and leaving them in the woods. Like, what the hell is going on? Is he trying to cover up his tracks or not?
What the fuck is this?
After seeing this film with 2 friends, we sat on a couch just shocked at how terrible this film was. Shocked at how something with such a lack of structure, narrative, and quality could be greenlit. Yeah, the effects are actually pretty good, but the directors are 2 special effects guys, so that was literally the only thing expected of them. Nah, fuck it, I'm done talking about this stinker. It doesn't even deserve the attention that I'm giving it at the moment. Alright, so with that piece of shit out of the way, we're kicking off a real list. The number 5 spot goes to the 1997 film Alien Resurrection. So many fans actually hate this film, and while it definitely isn't good, ruins the beautiful ending to the 3rd film, and feels like silly fanfiction, it at least feels like fun silly fanfiction. It doesn't really take itself all too seriously, which is why I don't either. In the film, several years after Ripley sacrifices herself to kill the last xenomorph in Alien 3, she's cloned so that the alien impregnated inside her can be replicated and weaponized. A group of space pirates who are smuggling some really unlucky human test subjects get drawn into a larger problem when the aliens outsmart the scientists and escape, causing chaos to ensue on board the spaceship and forcing Ripley to team up with the space pirates in order to escape and once again stop the alien menace. Alright, so to be honest, this is a pretty silly and actually dumbed down movie, but despite the sort of steroid Mountain Dew style that this has, it's at least kind of entertaining, which is something anyway. I also do like the slimy greenish yellow tint, and overall the look of the film, and there are at least some cool set pieces and moments. I wasn't bothered by the swimming alien part. There were a couple cool death scenes. And while the alien-human hybrid was really stupid,
oh look, beautiful little baby.
It didn't ruin the whole film for me, as I don't take it too seriously anyway. Also, it gains major points for having the acting greats Ron Perlman and Brad Dourif, 2 great genre actors who always bring their A-game and make this action-packed ride much more enjoyable.
Real nice party, ain't it?
I can honestly have a lot of fun watching this as just generic sci-fi action. It's silly, over the top, and style over substance, but it still manages to be the 5th best Alien film so far.
Excellent work, everybody.
Alright, that brings us to the number 4 spot on the list, which goes to 2012's Prometheus. So, in a rare return to one's own franchise, Ridley Scott once again donned the role of director for what is basically a prequel to the Alien series. In it, we follow the crew of a spaceship traveling to a distant planet where human life may very well have originated. Once we get there, they realize that there's been something strange and quite possibly very slivery and violent stuff going on, and seemingly get caught up in the same problems that destroyed the planet's previous inhabitants. Alright, so despite this having a number 4 spot, I gotta be honest here, I actually have to see this movie twice in the theaters just to figure out if I actually liked it or not. So yeah, it actually took me a while to warm up to Prometheus because I was kind of let down by it. In terms of production, direction, set design, cinematography, everything was great. But the writing and execution was just lackluster at times. For example, you get a bunch of people to sign up for a 4-year-long voyage into space to do a job that they haven't even been informed about until they get there.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
You have biologists who are terrified by 10,000-year-old corpses, but they want to play around with a hideous alien cobra-looking motherfucker.
Oops, sorry.
What was the point in pretending that Wayland was dead? Why was this old man makeup so shitty? And why didn't Charlize Theron learn how to run sideways? Basically, there are just so many unanswered questions that really shouldn't be there for a film of this quality. So yeah, I expected better with original director Ridley Scott at the helm of this. At the end, I do appreciate the film for its many interesting themes of creator and creation, our place in the universe, our quest for answers. The movie honestly does bring up some interesting themes that haven't really been there or been explored in the Alien series.
We hope to achieve was to meet our makers, to get answers. Why they even made us in the first place.
Why do you think your people made me?
We made you because we could.
Can you imagine how disappointing it would be for you to hear the same thing from your creator?
There were some great performances from Noomi Rapace and Michael Fassbender, some fascinating ideas, awesome effects, and fantastic set pieces. It's just a shame that the film as a whole isn't pieced together with a suitable script, which makes the overall execution a bit flat.
Oops, sorry.
Still though, it did things differently and took a few risks, and despite its shortcomings, the things it did well, it did very well, which earns it the number 4 spot. Alright, so it brings us to the number 3 spot, and possibly the most controversial entry, 1992's Alien 3. So in the last video we did, I discussed in detail why I love this film despite the negative reception it got.
I think it might be better if I left. I find you unpleasant to be around.
But to summarize, I just feel that this return to the lone alien horror angle with Ripley at the center of everything was flawed, but also very misunderstood. I mean, let's face it, this is a movie that many fans despise. Even director David Fincher has disowned the film.
This thing is really pissed off!
But honestly, I really do see the potential at the core here, and it's a shame that a lot of people don't. There's just so much that's so well done, great performances, a ton of emotion and symbolism that really make this more than it seems. Sure, there are things that could have been done better, but in terms of overall story, this is the perfect finish to the trilogy with a bittersweet ending that is truly the perfect way of wrapping up the story. Alright, so I already spent an entire video defending this movie and explaining why I think it's kind of a misunderstood and overlooked masterpiece in a way, so if you haven't seen that, then you can do so by clicking the annotation on the screen, and if you have, well, then you already know how I feel about it, and that brings us to the number 2 spot, which goes to 1986's Aliens. So in an entry that you will probably recognize from our top 5 favorite sequels video that we did with Joseph Ari, we get to a film that is widely seen as one of the best sequels ever made, and with good reason.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
In the 1986 follow-up to the original Alien, Ripley survives her first encounter with the xenomorph, but is unwillingly brought into a military expedition to investigate the disappearance of a colony on the planet where Ripley and her former crew first came into contact with the alien menace.
You're going out there to destroy them, right? Not to study, not to bring back, but to wipe them out.
That's the plan.
And yeah, you guys already know the story. Aliens start coming out of the walls, people start dying, shit starts hitting the fan, and it's game over, man, game over. The cast in this film is superb, with typically one-dimensional and bland soldier types being fleshed out to become genuine classic characters.
Hey, Vasquez. Have you ever been mistaken for a man?
No. Have you?
Oh, Vasquez.
The stakes are raised, everything is done much bigger, more exciting, And there's a real underlining theme of motherhood, first encountered in Ripley as she finds out about her daughter's death, then again as she rescues Newt, becoming kind of a surrogate mother to her.
Uh-oh. I made a clean spot here. Now I've done it. Guess I'll have to do the whole thing.
And then having to rescue Newt again and coming to face with the alien queen, trying to make sure its offspring continues to procreate and take over the world.
Get away from her, you bitch!
So from the alien queen to other memorable characters like Bishop, Hudson, Hicks, and Vasquez, basically everything is expanded upon and made really interesting, and it's a perfect follow-up to 1979's Alien. So we've already talked quite a bit about Aliens, and while I stand by its number 2 spot, I do kind of increasingly find it inferior to Alien. While the action is great, the slight absence of horror is noticeable, and though it does expand the alien mythology, it doesn't do everything great.
You don't have to be sorry. It wasn't your fault.
To be honest, I do consider this better than Alien 3, but not by leaps and bounds. Still though, for everything it does right, it does damn good, as the richness of Ripley's character is fleshed out and her status as badass is cemented. This is by far still one of the best sequels ever made, and the number 2 spot on this list.
Bishop, you did okay.
I did.
Oh yeah.
So, I guess you guys know what that leaves us with, the number 1 spot, which goes to the classic 1979 original, Alien. So, while there are a lot of people who prefer Aliens over Alien, I get that, but in my opinion, while Aliens does everything bigger, the lasting first impact that Alien has is truly timeless. It's got such a sense of atmosphere and mystery that we don't really get in the sequels. In the original, some space truckers come into contact with a hostile alien life form, which turns into the most unwelcome and violent space guest ever, and proceeds to pick off the characters one by one. So while we all know what happens in today's day and age, there's a lot that was truly shocking when it first came out. Anyway, first seeing the xenomorph is a haunting experience, as director Ridley Scott did the Jaws dance and kept the monster in the shadows for the most part, as well inside some people. Surprises also include Dallas being killed off, a character who is presented as the hero and main character, whereas Ripley, who is kind of portrayed as a quiet side character, ends up being the only one left alive in a thrilling film that spirals deeper and deeper into sci-fi horror.
Dallas?
Basically, there's just so many classic scenes and moments, and I love the way that the tension just keeps building up more and more until the exciting climax. You really feel the horror that all the characters are going through, and the dread and hopelessness of their situation is pretty unrivaled. The actors all do a terrific job, the direction is magnificent, and the special effects still do hold up despite being over 30 years old. This film just nails claustrophobic space thrills and could very well be the best sci-fi horror film ever made. Can Alien Covenant top this? Well, probably not. I expect it to be better than Prometheus, but worse than Alien 3. Only time will tell. Either way, 1979's Alien is definitely the best Alien film made so far, our number 1 spot, and I expect it to stay that way for a long time. So that about does it for this episode of Sci-Fi Night Top 5. We hope you enjoyed it. If you got a different list, by all means, let us know what it is in the comments below. I'm your host, Sebastian Wendell Martinez, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Just stay away from me, Bishop. You got that straight?
Guess you don't like the cornbread either.